So when you talk of grace, you know, when there is a law of equality, where is the place of grace then? It means, the place of grace means when you have done your efforts with mind, action and speech, and even then if you are not successful and you cry like Kanav Rishi of Vedas. That's why he's called Kanav. Means he used to cry. He cried, bitterly cried, that I have made all the efforts. And after making all the efforts, I have not attained anything, my Lord. Suddenly, the field of mind expanded, and you go beyond the unconscious to the domain of peace and happiness within you. Many of us, most of us believe in God according to our convenience. When we have something, that something is not being attained and achieved by any other way, what do? We say, oh God, help me. And when we receive help, we forget. So partially we all believe in God and partially we all are agnostics. You know the word agnostic came from a particular person, a family, a name was called Ignomen. He did not believe in God, but he never disbelieved in God. He left it as a question. As we all have question, life is a question in front of us. But then how are we using this little mind, which is like a foot rule, to measure this vast universe and its mysteries and its creator, if there is any? So when we try to think and see the limitations of our mind, then we suddenly remember aphorism, which is called a Sutra. Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha. That aphorism and Sutra, a compact, abstruse and complete. It is not meant for the student to study. Yoga Sutras are not meant for the students to study, because they will drive you crazy. They are meant for the teachers. They are like curriculums. Those teachers who are competent. Competent teachers means those who have studied through tradition from their competent teachers and at the same time practiced and verified the truths therein. They alone have right to teach. These days, people like me. We teach Yoga Sutras, we teach these Sutras, but in ancient times, these Sutras were not taught. Nobody would learn the Sutras from somebody who was not an adept, who was not a perfect yogi. Yogi is he who practices yoga. Yogi is he who has attained the highest state called Samadhi. Now, there are two meanings of this. Samadhi is a state of happiness. Samadhi is a state where there is no question. If you resolve all your questions, if there are no questions in your mind, can you imagine what will be the condition of your mind? How will you think and what type of thinking you will have? In a state of Samadhi, you lead your mind to that state by training it. I differ with the word Chitta Vritti Nirodha, the second sutra. the way it has been explained into English language, because there is no equivalent word in any other language but in Sanskrit, which I will explain to you. Historians are trying to find and search about Patanjali's life, and have seen Western and modern historians written such thick books. Finally, you don't understand anything. They could not find out. They wrote such a big book and in the end say we could not find out. You see, and that is taught in the universities and colleges. Once I became a visiting professor to a university called Sagar University, where Yoga Darshana and Yoga Sutras are taught. No student having master's degree did not know what Chittavriti means. Because academic way, what is academic way of explaining to Swami Rama, who has never tasted any sugar, who comes from wild, you see, Himalayas, who doesn't know anything, who from a very primitive cave, and how academic way can tell me what how sweet tastes? Tell me, any of you? Monastic way is, here is the sweet, eat it, experience it. And that is the taste of the sweet. Few commentaries, Vyasa, Bhoja and other commentaries, are taught in the university without any explanation. This is a very important text, classical text. Buddhist schools, all three schools, Mahayana, Hinayana, Navayana, they borrowed something from this text. Jainism borrowed something from this text. Upanishads is full of, you see, yoga teachings. There is no such religion in the world that does not have something about yoga. Yet it is not a religion. Nowhere Patanjali says that you should become Buddhist, you should become Hindu, and you should become Sufi, and you should become heathen. The first sutra says, Atha Yoganusasanam. Now, here begins the discipline of yoga. Now, when you say now, do this, it means your teacher has told you, instructed you to do something before that, and when you are prepared, when you have accomplished and when you have completed, then your teachers tell you to do something. It means the preliminaries are not mentioned here. What teacher said before, this now, no one knows. Only the student and teacher know. So there are preliminaries before you practice this science, yoga science. You have to accomplish, you have to practice those preliminaries, then you will understand aphorisms. These aphorisms are called Yoga Darshana. They make Yoga Darshana. Yoga Darshana. Darshana words come from its root Drishyate Annena, through which you can see. As you see your face in the mirror, through this darshana, through this classical text, you can see the self. That's what darshana means. It is called sutra. Sutra means string. That string which binds many beads is called sutra. It is the very basis of Eastern psychology.